Law school never taught me how to get clients. Instead, in law school, we're taught, okay, here's how you advocate on behalf of a client by assuming you already have the client. But that's not real life.
I- Is this real life?
Yeah, this is real life.
You see, for me, I graduated law school, I passed the bar, I got that first job working for a small personal injury law firm, and I still had no idea on how to get my first client. With this video, I'm going to share with you my journey on how I learned how to get clients. And it all started with me being a newly licensed lawyer at that new job. And for reasons unknown to me, one of my many roles at this small PI law firm was handling the intake phone calls, meaning that as these phone calls were coming in, it was my job to convert potential clients into clients. But keep in mind, I had no idea what I was doing. If your jaw just hasn't dropped to the floor, then that probably means you're not appreciating how crazy and ridiculous this situation was for me. I'm a baby lawyer, I have no idea what I'm doing, and somehow I have become the face of the law firm because I am now the first point of contact for any potential client calling in on a personal injury case. It is my job to convert that potential client into a client after the law firm has been spending money and energy marketing and trying to grow the referral network. It's my job to make sure that money is well spent, meaning if I don't make that conversion from the potential client to the client, the law firm is losing money. So obviously, no pressure. You know how sometimes in sports, a rookie's thrown into a starting role and they just start thriving from the get-go? Like the pressure isn't too much, the stage isn't too big, and they just crush expectations? Well, that wasn't me. For a while there, my ability to convert potential clients into actual clients, subpar at best. If I'm being totally real, I'm pretty sure the firm was losing money on me. Looking back, a lot of these phone calls with potential clients were ineffective because I treated the phone call like it was an interview. I had just gotten the job at this PI law firm by hyping myself up at a job interview. And it worked. I got the job, it did the trick. And so I thought, well, if I hyped up the law firm to this potential client, then maybe that'll do the trick as well. I'll just talk about all the great things that this PI law firm does and how fantastic the track record is. And heck, I figured if I just followed the philosophy of the interview and also all the lawyer commercials I've ever seen throughout my life of why that lawyer in the law firm is the best lawyer and law firm in town, then I'll be fine with getting these people signed up. But that wasn't the case. Keep in mind, the philosophy at this law firm I was working at was trial by fire, just throw me in the deep end and see if I could swim. So nobody was really teaching me how to effectively have these initial phone conversations. And I quickly realized that this interview style was not very effective. Yes, I would sign up some cases, but there were plenty of other cases that were quality cases that I thought I could sign up, but ultimately didn't sign up and actually probably got ghosted more often than anything. And so over time, I would kind of change the pitch and the conversation a little bit, start making tweaks here and there to see what worked and what the reception was from the potential client. And after a lot, and I mean a lot of fine tuning over a good significant period of time, I developed a loose script and outline that began converting a whole lot more potential clients into clients and ended up being my bread and butter for getting people signed up. In fact, for those that are enrolled in the personal injury playbook, you know my exact script for filtering out bad cases and signing up good cases. If you're not enrolled in the personal injury playbook, but you want to learn not only the script, but how to build a PI practice on a budget, I'll slide a link above so you can check it out, and I'll put a link in the description for you as well. So after crashing and burning all of those times and fine tuning and tweaking and ultimately developing the script that I use, the principle behind this script is really simple. At some point, I address and anticipate the concerns that I know that the potential client has before they even bring those concerns up. This is key. If you can address the problem before it's even raised, then you won't need to hype up your skills as a lawyer and you won't need to hype up your law firm. The fact that you can anticipate the problem before it's even raised shows that you're experienced and that you already understand the potential client. And as you can show this and as you can address these issues, what you're going to start doing is building and establishing the necessary trust that leads to you converting them from that potential client to a client. For example, in a personal injury case, before a potential client even says it, I know that most likely their number one concern is they don't want to have any out-of-pocket expenses. Most people feel like if they're not at fault for the negligence or if they're not at fault for the damages, if they didn't cause the wreck, then they shouldn't have to be financially inconvenienced. And that is absolutely fair. So in implementing my script, I subtly controlled the flow of the conversation like I would a witness on a stand. And I typically start the conversation with having the potential client walk me through the facts surrounding typically their car wreck. In doing so, as I'm listening to these facts, I'm also applying some filtering techniques in order to see if this is a case that I want to take. Again, if you're interested in the filtering techniques, the PI playbook is down below. But what's important here for this video is that if the case is something that I want to take, then I'm the one that immediately takes control of the conversation by addressing this number one problem about either eliminating or minimizing out-of-pocket expenses. And so what I do is not only address the problem, but walk the potential client through all of the solutions that achieve the goal. Again, either eliminating or minimizing the out-of-pocket expenses before the potential client has even raised this issue. And then what I do on top of that is just rinse and repeat with all the additional issues and concerns that I know the potential client either has or will have as we progress through the conversation. So in a vast majority of situations, by the end of the conversation, the client feels understood, they recognize my experience, and they also are starting to trust me. All because I am recognizing their problem before the problem is even raised. And typically what ends up happening is I get my favorite question ever. What are the next steps? How do I sign up? And that's when I know things are going to be smooth sailing moving forward. But here's the kicker, and I really want to stress this as well. This concept of addressing the problem before it's even raised isn't necessarily limited to just phone calls with potential clients. I apply this same technique, this same approach whenever I'm networking with providers. I know the problems that providers face whenever they're handling personal injury cases. So whenever I'm talking to a provider, I raise the problem before they raise it, and then I also provide the solution to this problem as well. That gives me credibility, that starts establishing trust, and that's what's been leading to referrals during my time since going solo. In fact, out of pure coincidence, earlier today, a chiropractor sent me an email expressing interest in passing my info along to future patients of his that have been involved in a car wreck. I have only worked with this chiropractor on one occasion. I referred my client to him, and in doing so, I handled my client's case in a way that addresses the pain points that I know a chiropractor has when dealing with personal injury cases. And by addressing those pain points without him ever raising those to me, I got this email in response. If you've seen the other Law of Injury videos, this is what I'm always echoing, that win, win, win. If my client wins, I win. And if I can get a win for the chiro as well, then that's ideal because my law firm is built on referrals. If I can get the client to turn into that walking billboard, fantastic. But it's even better if I can have his treating provider also send me cases in the future as well, because that's how you exponentially grow. Okay, so let's boil it down. If you can address a problem before it's even raised, that's going to show your experience and it's ultimately going to build trust with the person you're speaking with. So if it's a potential client or a potential referral source, if you have that trust with them, then signing them up or turning them into a future referral source is going to be fairly easy, which is a huge relief because I find it really awkward hyping myself up and my skills to other people. Now, with all this said, I'm gonna wrap up the video, but if you have any questions, comments, concerns, thoughts, or if you just wanna say hi, leave that in the comment section down below. Again, PI Playbook is linked down below as well. And with all that said, I'll see you in the next video.